Twitch just keeps making fools out of themselves. Or maybe this is a part of their plan.
Hi guys, it's me again, and today, again, we're going to be talking about the Twitch Terms of Service. This has been a popular topic for, I don't know, about
forever.
10 years. And guess what? It's happening again. There's been another update. About a couple of days ago, there was a new change that was supposed to revert a new change that was actually a change from the old rules. So just so you understand the timeline here, for the entire duration of Twitch, and also as far as I know, Justin TV, you could not have a camera that had the primary focus of that camera being on your ass. And you couldn't have it as being the primary focus being on your boobs. But
so unprogressive. I know I also don't understand why Twitch just can't be a little bit more progressive. But if you want a quick summary of what's actually happening here, Twitch is making the completely reasonable decision of not taking and permabanning like 5, 10 maybe people who constantly try to break the rules because they only use Twitch as a, gateway funnel to OF. And that's how we get into this situation.
But Twitch decided about 6 months ago, fuck it. And they didn't think it's a big deal anymore. And so they decided to make it not against the rules. And guess what happens? Well, as soon as you make that not against the rules, there's a lot of girls that have OnlyFans that use that, and they...
The majority of the female Twitch population, aka. Let's not sugarcoat this.
They think to themselves, well, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make another camera, a separate camera, that is focused entirely on my ass or on my boobs, and that's it. That's the whole camera. That's the entire function of that camera. And this has been what Twitch community refers to as a new meta of the ass cameras. And I guess it was a bit too much.
And this is where it works. Okay, this is where I start the conspiracy theories. Twitch was recently given a new CEO, the old good Gandalf character. Now, first of all, anyone who understands business and whatnot, you know that that guy is just pretending to be that nice old dude. Because you do not get in life that far if you're nice. Okay? This guy, without any second thought, is gonna do evil things at a moment's notice, okay? That's the brutal reality of it, most likely. Do I have proof of that? No. But just experience and life in general has taught me one thing. Nice people do not get to be CEOs of multi-billion-dollar companies. And that is just fact in this case. And I think this guy is obviously smart enough to understand that, hey, news like this attracts attention. And I think this guy is intentionally playing this. He's completely fine, the new Twitch CEO, with just changing the rules. Because this is essentially free marketing. Because what happens? All the ex-gamers are pissed about Twitch becoming a non-gamer OF funnel tunnel. And they make videos. Asmongold is making videos. He has 2 million subscribers. There are other people who are making videos about this. Essentially, it's just a giant free marketing scam in this situation. Considering this is not considered porn, real porn, Twitch has absolutely no problems with advertisement or any of the sorts. As long as it's not actually considered porn, this is fine. And Twitch is taking full advantage of this situation.
So Twitch decided to revert this rule. And I wanted to talk about, I guess, the ridiculousness of what's been happening with this problem for like the past few years. And I think especially after these rules have been changed. And I think that I want to talk about where I think this problem is coming from and where I think it's going to go. So today, the reason why I'm actually making the video, I'm about to go have dinner with my dad after this, but I figured, before that, I've got to make this video before I forget. And what happened is that I saw on Twitter there were all of the usual suspects, that have been suspended on Twitch. Amaranth, Morgpie, Asian Bunny, and everybody else.
Yeah, I only know Amaranth.
And so these girls have all been suspended pending this new rule, because the new rule just went into effect today or yesterday or something like that. It was either today or yesterday. And so now these girls are getting suspended even though they don't actually have the camera directly on their ass anymore.
Yeah, and they got suspended for. I already saw this on Twitter. They got suspended for just a couple of hours. Again, all of this is most likely 100% just intended as free marketing because so many people follow this situation. Because it is stupid, it is hilarious, and it's fat material for some, so you're gonna click. Sex sells, it's just facts.
And some of them, this is what's even more interesting, is some of them have already gotten unbanned. So,
See? Yeah.
Is it against the rules? Is
No.
it not against the rules?
Who knows?
Nobody knows. And you know what? I don't even think Twitch knows either. I think that all of Twitch...
If it is against the rules, Twitch is going to slightly tweak it so there is something that's not against the rules. If it's not against the rules, Twitch is going to ban them for 1 hour. That's essentially the game that we're currently playing, I feel like.
Twitch's terms of service is completely reactionary. There's no principle to any of it. There's absolutely no logic involved at all. And the only reason why they have their terms of service is not to protect the users on the platform. It's not to protect the streamers either. It's only to protect the advertisers.
Yes.
And so guess what? Whenever an advertiser complains about something like this, then Twitch feels the need to immediately change what they're going to do.
They do complain, but Twitch is in a very peculiar situation already. Because we have actually looked at the numbers, and the thing is, Twitch cannot get rid of these streamers. They cannot just say, hey, all of you girls that are just, almost naked on stream, we're banning you. We're getting rid of you. They can't do it. They actually are enough of a percent of Twitch's income and relevance that they can't be removed at this point. Removing them would mean that Twitch underperforms that year at the minimum, or potentially even the next 2 years, or even 3 years if they're super unlucky. So, doing that, willingly letting Twitch underperform under everything that they are supposed to achieve means that most likely the CEO is in hot water and is maybe even getting replaced. He is surely not getting his bonus, which, by the way, he probably really wants. And everyone else involved in the hierarchy that matters also is most likely not getting their bonus. And they really want that bonus, most likely. So, Twitch is stuck in a rock, between a hard place and a rock at this point, because they legitimately, financially cannot get rid of these women. Hilarious, I know.
So Twitch made basically a completely, they pretty much got rid of all the rules in terms of sexual content streams outside of like straight up porn, and even that's debatable.
Because again, the thing is, advertisers don't exactly want to put their stuff on something that is actually, classified blatantly as porn. So as long as Twitch just avoids that classification, they're fine. All of this, that's just light stuff or whatever you want to call it. So they're completely fine.
What the original rules were about 6 months ago. And ever since then, they've been clawing that back. And I think the reason why this keeps happening is because Twitch, how can you solve a problem that you can't acknowledge what the problem is? You can't say, hey, guys, I see what the problem is, let's solve the problem. Because they have to keep pretending like they can't see the problem. Because seeing the problem, as, some people would say, would be sexist. Because
I got sweaty there. For a moment, I thought that Asmongold's gonna say what I just said, and then I would have to acknowledge that he said something good. Whew! Man. I got scared for a little bit. Imagine Asmongold saying something that's actually smart or makes sense. Whew! Man. Oh, man. That was close. That made me my heart pound a little bit. But thankfully, no, his brain only goes far as sexism. Whew! Oh, safe.
The truth is that 99.9% of all of these...
Yes, the truth is it's all just sexism and men's fault. Whew, saved.
...are done by girls. And the reason why they're doing them is because they're doing it to sell subscriptions to OnlyFans. So here's the way it works. Basically...
No, they're doing it because women actually don't care if you objectify them as things, not humans, because they like that.
The girl goes on Twitch and she's doing sexual content. Now, is it very sexual? Oh, not really, but it's sexual. And it clearly creates a gateway for girls to go from, you know, like, oh yeah, watch me on Twitch and I'm in a bikini, and then watch me on OnlyFans and I don't have the bikini on anymore. And so what ends up happening is these girls have their Twitch channel, a lot of people come in and they watch it, and then there's a link tree underneath there with all of their socials, and all of their socials are, you know, like 2 or 3 different porn websites, which is really what Fansly, Patreon to an extent, lesser extent, but still there, and OnlyFans are. They're porn websites. And so these girls are effectively using Twitch to use it as a vehicle to advertise selling porn. And so I personally don't really give a fuck about this all that much.
Hey, someone with 50 OnlyFans subscriptions obviously is not going to care about that too much. It is what it is.
I don't really view Twitch as some sort of sacred cow that cannot be defiled because, oh, well, you can't come into our video game space and do this. I don't really give a shit about it, but what I do give a shit about is the intellectual dishonesty.
Then again, I don't think he gives a shit about most things, because at the end of the day, what does anything in this world matter?
And that's really what's going on here, is that you see Twitch stumbling and fumbling around because they don't actually want to address the bad actors that are using their website to sell porn. So what they do, and because if they do that, then it could be perceived as sexist. So what...
No, again, the moment Twitch actually classifies them as a actual real porn website, that's when the advertisers are actually mad, because then you no longer can have Coca-Cola there, okay?
They're doing instead is they are making these abstract rules as a reaction to what these girls are doing in order to get around the rules. So what does that do? Well, that just changes what the metas are. So as soon as this...
They're not even doing that, because the reality is, if you want to be super righteous, then Twitch is actually in the right here, that, you know, there's rules, someone finds a loophole, the Twitch fixes the rules. But the thing is, Twitch is not doing this. They're not being super righteous or anything. They are creating a solution for the current thing, because the current thing gets boring after like a week, because it's no longer the current interesting thing to talk about, and then they remove the old rules, or, you know, something like that. Because the reality is, if you have a set of rules, and you constantly just add to them, at some point, these women would not be able to do what they are doing. But Twitch is fully aware of it. So they remove things that can, with time, become loopholes. If they just keep adding to it, there's no problem. Because sooner or later they get rid of all the loopholes, most likely. But they remove these rules that they make over time. So, you know, I think it's blatantly visible what Twitch is trying to do. It's just free advertisement.
Becomes, you know, against the rules, these girls are going to do something else. And then after that becomes against the rules, then these girls are going to do something after that. So you can see clearly what the pattern is. And why is this pattern happening? Well, it's very simple. It's because it's their fucking job. Whenever you think about it, it's like for these girls, what they do is they make money. They're making $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 a month on OnlyFans. So if you had $50,000 a month writing on figuring out a way to get around Twitch's terms of service, what the hell do you think you would do? I bet I'd figure out a way around it. And that's exactly what's been happening for the past few years. And Twitch has not been able to accurately address this problem, because in doing so, they would have to identify what the problem is. And in order to identify what the problem is, they would have to acknowledge something that is inherently sexist, because guess what? Sex...
Is that slide buzzing a vacuum sound? I got confused for a moment. I thought, wait, is something going on here? No, there's like that, it's like, wee. Huh.
Is sexist, and the fact that it is...
Did he buy a maid? That's also probably a prostitute.
It's pretty much 100% women selling these services and women creating this.
I got so confused. I thought it's the hum thing that you suddenly hear in your head. I get it. It's rare, but you know that humming sound. I thought that that was a strange version of the humming sound. Oh, okay. Asmongold's making prostitutes clean his house, okay.
Kind of content. So if you make a rule against that, or you're banning them because of that, it is seen as being sexist to some people who probably have
Or maybe I just can hear it, I'm not sure.
never gone outside. But unfortunately, on Twitter, there's a lot of those. And so anyway, this is really what's been going on. And I want to talk to you guys about what's going to keep happening. I think that this is going to keep happening for the indefinite future. I don't think that there's going to be a time where Twitch stops doing this until they completely have like an advertiser, like an adpocalypse or something like that. There's never going to be a point where Twitch decides, okay, this is enough. We're going to start banning.
Can adpocalypses even happen, honestly, anymore? I don't think they can. Because after the YouTube apocalypse happened, who gives a shit? You know? It happened, sure, yeah, it is what it is. Sad and bad and all of that good stuff, but at the end of the day, no one really cared. No one really cared. The companies that kept their ads up on YouTube understood, wait a minute, no one actually gives a shit about these things that are happening on YouTube, about all these great beheadings and Taliban recruitment thing. Who cares? So, I don't think an ad apocalypse can happen at this point because, man, if it can't, then how the hell hasn't it already happened 50 times on Twitch?
Banning all of these content creators. I think that Twitch doesn't really care about these content creators one way or another. And that's what I was saying earlier about how I don't really think that Twitch cares about its own TOS either. All the TOS exists for is just simply to...
They do care about the TOS. The parts that they care about are rock solid and Twitch is not touching them. Twitch is not changing them. These are the parts of the terms of service that they know that don't really matter.
Protect advertisers and make sure that the advertisers don't leave. That's why, like all of these things that were, oh, these are so bad to do. Oh, man, you can't say this, you can't say that. The only reason why this happened is because of advertisers. And before the advertisers came in, you could say whatever the hell you wanted on Twitch. It's because of money, and that's the only reason. And so anyway, if Twitch is perceived as being sexist, that could also cause them to lose advertisers. That's the train of logic that I think is happening. And so what's going to keep happening is that...
Hey, Bud Light was considered very non-sexist, and look at how that ended. Companies at this point are rethinking a lot of things.
Until Twitch views this as a bigger risk than being perceived in a negative way, they are going to continue addressing the symptom and not necessarily the disease. And I also want to make sure that this is very clear. I actually don't have a problem with the girls doing this. I don't really care. I think that it shouldn't be in people's recommended. You should never be able to watch one of these streams while you're not online, not logged in. And if you're not logged in with a account that's 18 plus, then I don't think you should be able to watch them at all. But I also have very extreme viewpoints on this, as in, I don't think any people under the age of 18 should be on social media in any capacity whatsoever unless it's an app that is explicitly made for kids like YouTube Kids. And there should be no peer-to-peer messaging.
YouTube Kids wasn't a smart idea, by the way.
Or any sort of curation, or there should be maximum curation on everything that's seen on that platform, because you see how creepy shit is on YouTube for kids even, and that's why YouTube had to completely redesign what they were doing. So that's my perspective on it. I don't think there should be any kids on a platform, period. I think they should all be read-only, and you shouldn't even...
But that's like 80% of your viewer base, dude. You can't just, knock all of them out.
They'll use the platform unless you're logged in. Okay, that's my opinion. I understand it's very extreme, but that's what I think. There's a lot of...
I wouldn't even call it extreme. I think that's a reasonable opinion to even have. Didn't Texas, I think, did do that for TikTok or something like that? I'm pretty sure they did.
Predators, a lot of creeps, a lot of weirdos, a lot of kids being exposed to things they shouldn't be aware of, and I think that's a much bigger problem. The fact that it's girls in bikinis, this is probably a, really not that big of a deal on the scale of 1 to 10, but it's still not a good thing. And so anyway, what ends up happening is that, you see people that are obviously very upset about this, and I can understand why, because I think the reason why a lot of people are upset about the Twitch rules and the way this works is because of what I said with the intellectual dishonesty of it. I think that's why, for example, whenever content is just very overtly sexual, people don't really care as much about it, but whenever it's somebody who's doing something like body painting, but all of their body painting includes exclusively body painting their breasts, this is very clearly sexual. It is. And telling somebody that it's not is an insult to their intelligence. And I think that's why a lot of people are annoyed by it, because it is insulting to be told.
True. If there's one thing a man will always understand, it's the language his dick speaks. And if the dick says, "Hey, that's pretty sexual," it is sexual, baby.
That you can't see what's directly in front of you. And I think that Twitch is pretending like they don't see what's directly in front of them. And that's really what's pushing a lot of this problem. So today, when all of these girls got banned, I don't really know whether this is going to stick or not, but I do think that Twitch needs to fix this eventually, because this is going to happen until eventually. What I think is this is the end result, right? The end result will be that at some point in time, there becomes a large enough zeitgeist of Twitch is using the platform that, you know, is not very well moderated for minors to basically advertise porn. And
Dude, we already had this discussion, like, how long ago at this point? We had it. We talked about it. Pretty much most people agreed, yes, problem. And then it got boring because nothing was done. And that has happened already, I think, 2 or 3 times, as far as I can remember, this circle thing. Again, everything's a circle with Twitch. Something gets boring. It's like the red pill, you know? The red pill works like this. Red pill gets super popular. Everyone talks about the red pill. It gets boring after like a while. Everyone forgets about it. Everyone forgets about it. Red pill becomes popular again. Everyone talks about it. Gets boring because everyone's talking about it, and there's not a lot to talk about. Bam! It's a never-ending circle.
The moment that happens and there's a big article about this, you're going to see Twitch completely change their rules, because again, Twitch has no actual identity or ideals or principles or values or morals with their TOS. It is all reactionary. So the moment that something like this becomes bad, they will immediately get rid of it. So until
yeah, kind of agree to that. I mean, what else can you say? That obviously companies gonna do things until they get caught doing bad things. That's how it works. And then they pay a lump sum of money as reparations, let's just call it that, which is roughly 0.1% of maybe what they made while doing the illegal thing. And I'm sure that's gonna prevent them from doing the illegal thing. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. No, it won't. No, it won't. Anyway, that's the Twitch situation. It's always a circle. It's hilarious. Anyway, that was Asmongold after he had sex with a drywall, I'm guessing. I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, this was Quizzer Says, and thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.